this system has dropped now. Let me explain how it will function and how it is workable for us to really use our languages in the face of multiple languages and the new development and advancement. How to make it work. That is my own thing.
All right, thank you, Jackson, for the question. We're just having a little challenge with the connection, but I believe that Professor Kari will be online pretty soon. But let's take some more calls. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Please quickly.
Yeah, quickly, I see you. Well, this is quite interesting. But sometimes that makes me the way we do things in this country. I want to look at, we politicize almost everything we do in our country today. You see, what we are about to do now is systematically we want to eradicate our own indigenous language, which is not too good for a nation like ours. In fact, as a matter of fact, it is being known that to an extent we even want to adopt the Chinese language because of what we stand to get from them. That is the area of principle that we want to politicize almost everything within this country. See, no matter how the angle the policy is going to, we must try to side by side encourage the both languages. I mean both the foreign and the local. Because looking at it from the way we are going now, gradually we are extincting our own indigenous languages, which is not good for us as a country and as a people. Because we have our own culture back home there, and they have their own culture also. Also, the English language we are talking about is the colonial way. They are just officializing it. But look, of the two that speak, we are just too fake as a country. Good morning.
All right, thank you very much, Barry, for that. Professor Kari, you're back online now. Right, okay, so we're having a little challenge, really terrible challenge anyway. But we want to round off, in your opinion, if you're calling right now, I'd like you to, say something regarding this questions about asking. All right, we're rounding off. In your opinion, how can Nigeria strike a sustainable balance between preserving local languages and ensuring global competitiveness through English language? And finally, if you were to advise the federal government today, what practical steps would you recommend to improve language policy in education going forward? I don't know if you would be able to respond to that. This caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, Big Wendy from Indigo. Thanks for joining us.
On this program concerning the minister, I think it's right because to me it's not necessary that you learn your mother tongue from school. Why I say so, before the days of colonialism, we have our own languages which we used to understand our own selves. You understand? That was learned through the community and not from school. English is for us to communicate with the colonial masters, which our resources, and then the manager, and we need to manufacture anything. Everything we need, and then the provider, and the means for we to communicate with them na English, not your language. You no go effort, go speak your language, or the right, drop your bag. Use your language, the right, na English. So I say make na the community na go make them necessary to sustain their language. If I'm not mistaken, Nigeria alone will get more than 300 languages. So we alone do understand ourselves with language. Rather than English, we will use understand ourselves. So, the necessary say we must learn our mother's language, include them for curriculum.
Okay.
Rather, we can see how they sustain their function, which is the language and their origin, where they come from, how the community they come from. They're supposed to become as enlightenment.
All right. Thank you. I think your point. Okay. I think your points are noted. Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Let's round off. Prof, you're back. I hope that we'll be able to have your, final thoughts. Hello. Yeah, finally you're here. Please give us your final thoughts. If you were to advise the federal government today, what practical steps would you recommend to improve language policy in education going forward?
And then the federal government should look at the area of implementation. The area of implementation. It is only when you have adequately implemented a policy that you can come to a conclusion that this policy has failed. If you have not fully implemented, you cannot say that the policy has failed. I think that the federal government has not fully implemented the policy, the national language policy. So we can go for full implementation of the policy.
Okay, so that's your conclusion. Full implementation of the policy. Thank you so much, Professor E.E. Carey, a linguistic scholar at the University of Port Harcourt. Thank you so much for, coming on the show this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it on the program. Let's Talk Nigeria. We are excited that you were able to contribute meaningfully to the conversation. Yes, the conversation was the review of the federal government's reversal of mother tongue teaching policy and reinstating English as a sole language of instruction. You heard all the callers, and of course the caller there who gave us his perspective. Tomorrow, next week, we'll be here again for another edition of Let's Talk Nigeria. It's been wonderful this week. I will say thank you very much. My name is Moye Steven. Have a lovely weekend.
Golden FM 97.5.